I bling. The question is, how did this physical realm get here? Who created it? How was it made? Well, in order to loosen this seal, first we have to do this recap so that you comprehend. The recap will be taught about you can find in the scroll of the seventh seal, you can find in the Aquarian gospel. They're all the same, just different words. The scroll is more pure. The Aquarian gospel was kind of changed to fit the religious type, more so Christianity type narrative. But the science is going to unseal it. So we learned that before everything was, it was just the one, the breath, the universal breath. The breath, if you turn off the light in a pitch black room, no windows, you can't see nothing, that's what the breath looked like. Nothing. But it's dark, it's black. It represents, let's say the black represents the color of the breath. Just like C.M. Bay said, black is the color of the woman's mind. Doesn't mean that her mind is blank. It means her mind is one. Her mind is everything. She knows everything. Just like she comes in the form, in the image of mama. The woman comes in the image of mama. So she's mostly thought, but she does have Poppy in her, which is will. So she does have the willpower, but she's mostly thought. Vice versa, as the man, he comes in the image of the father. He's mostly will, but he has the mama in him. He has thought. He has thought, but he's mostly will. He's willing to do. You see? So this is our thing. As a man, you need to balance yourself with your thought, which is what they call feminine energy, the negative energy. You need to balance yourself with thought. The woman, she is mostly thought. She comes in the image of mama. She needs to balance herself with the will, the Poppy, the masculine energy. When you overstimulate it, the man seems to be, as what they will say, he's feminine. The woman, she overstimulates hers, she appears to be masculine. But when you balance them, your thought and your actions are one. The resurrection is a fact. When thought and action are one, the resurrection is a fact. When the mind and the brain are one, the resurrection is a fact. Now check this out. So we talked about the breath, right? The universal breath. The breath breathe forth. The breath breathe forth. Go to your scroll of the seventh seal or your Aquarian gospel. The breath breathe forth. And there came the thought and the fire of heaven. The thought, the element of thought. Water. Water represents thought. Well, what's the fire? Because fire is an element, but they didn't say what it is. It's the wheel. The fire is the element that represents the wheel. So when the breath breathed forth, it breathed thought and will. Water and fire. And then the thought and the will breathed forth. They breathed together. And then there came the child, which is love. Love isn't a word that you speak in. Love is when thought and will are one. When masculine and feminine are one. When positive and negative connects, there's a charge. That charge, that spark, that big bang that we was talking about. Oh, the Big Bang Theory. That big bang is the spark. Boom. That's the spark. That's the love. This is what they call the universal mind. The mind. It's now a thinking thing, but it's universal. It's what's inside of us. We're each individual parts of the universal mind. We have thought and will, which is positive and negative energy. That's what the mind is. And all it does is think. So if you're not thinking, you're not living. I didn't say you're not alive. I said you're not living. You have to think in order to live. Otherwise, somebody will control you. They'll think for you. Don't let people think for you. Think for yourself. Do research. Don't just, yes. It's true. It's true. No. It ain't true. It ain't true. Do the research. This is how I'm finding. Because I'm allowing mama, the thought of heaven, to guide me. The wisdom. She knows everything. Tapped into the all-knowing. That's the adapt chamber. That's the adapt chamber. When you connect with wisdom, not when you go into a room and you learn all these lessons and all that. We'll get deeper into that later on. But if you really talk about third heaven, for wisdom speaks from out the highest plane of spirit life. Wisdom is mama. Mama speaks from out the highest plane of spirit life. Come on, it's right there, but ones ain't catching on because they're caught up in the doctrine. Now, how did this physical realm get about? See, I ain't forget about you. Once you get that spark, that big bang, boom, the love, the child, the mind, the universal mind opens its eyes, or let's say it looks with its eyes, which is what they call Elohim. The 7 creative spirits that created everything that is, was, and evermore to be. There's 3 more eyes. There's hierarchies. The first 7, Saturn, the sun, the moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. That's your 7. But then you have 3 more. You have 3 more. Urana, which is Uranus, Neptune, which is Neptune, and Pluto. Those are the 3 hierarchies. They represent the father, the mother, and the child. Uranus, the father. Neptune, 9, Thema 9, the mother. And Pluto, the child. When the father and the mother are one. This is what love is, when the father and the mother are one. This is why back in the days they used to say, let's make love. They were saying, let's connect. Masculine and feminine, that's how you make love. You connect the positive and the negative, you get a charge. They're trying to disconnect you. This is what gender wars is about, to disconnect you. We'll get into that more. But right now, the universal mind, the 7 eyes, each eye is a degree. That's what they call the days, the 7 days. It took 7 days to create this world. Well, it took 7 degrees. Saturn is the starter. In Latin, Saturn is Satu, turn to start. That's what it means, turn to start. So now we know Saturn is the starter. In the plane of soul, they went off of 10 eyes. So instead of 7 days a week, it's 10 days a week. 3 weeks, 10, 20, 30. 10, 20, 30. 3 days, what I say? 3 weeks, 10 days a week. So that's 30. 10, 20, 30. 3 times 10 is 30. So each month, there's 12 months, 12 zodiac signs. Each month has 30 days. Those 10 planets. The first week, but it always go back and it starts with Saturday. See, here it's confusing. You get to the 7th day, you get to 14 days, 21 days, 28 days. You can't get 30 days, 7. You have to have 10 to make it even. And it always starts with Saturn. So in the solar realm, you start with Saturn. On the 30th day, you end with Venus. Then when the next month starts, it'll start with Saturn. We'll get into science more. But first, we have to comprehend what this was. So who created this realm? The womb, in order to come through the portal, you must come through the womb. The womb is dark. Remember, in Genesis, the genes, the generator. Energy is the generator. They generated. In Genesis chapter 1, the first generator, when God created the heavens and the earth, God, energy, created the heavens and the earth was formless. Formless, water is formless, the thought was formless, and the spirit, the spiritu in Latin is breath, the breath of God, the breath of energy, hovered over the waters, hovered over the thought. The thought is mama. Mama is the closest to the breath. This is why she speaks from out the highest plane of spiritu life. And the darkness, there was darkness over the face of the deep. Darkness. Everything comes from the womb. So this is why they tell you that man comes from woman. I mean, not woman. They didn't say that. They said woman comes from man. There is no way that a woman can come from a man because a man don't have a womb. Oh, yes, it can. They took the man's rib and they created a woman. Now, for us to believe that, we had to be asleep. Because energy would have just created two bodies, plain and simple. But they had to dress it up because it don't even make sense. Everything that God created was good for the whole 7 days, but then all of a sudden God said it's not good for a man to be alone. You created him alone according to this scripture. So somebody done went in and changed some scriptures, truth reversed, and so falsehood is manifest. They reversed it to say that the man would come from the woman, or the woman would come from the man, so that the woman bowed down to the man. The man wanted to take over. Not all men, but it's a certain, we already talked about it, the lower energies of that, the higher energy, you see what I'm saying? So you got higher men and you have lower men, or high thinking men, low thinking men. And they're only going off the higher thinking woman, the lower thinking woman. But they have to get the information from the woman. So now the womb, man comes out of the womb. Revelation chapter 12. I saw a great sign in heaven, a woman, the womb man pregnant with the male child. In Genesis, after the creation, let us create man in mind. Men in Latin is mind, men's mind. Let us create minds in our image, male and female, masculine and feminine, positive and negative. Created them, Genesis chapter 5, verse 2. Created he them, he created them, blessed them. He is the will. The will did it. The will was willing to do what the mama asked. He created them, blessed them, and called their name Adam. Adam is Atom, the Atom. They split the Atom. They split the masculine and the feminine, and called their name Adam, their name. So here it's telling that the man and the woman was created at the same time. So where did they get off saying that the woman wasn't there? She was always there. She birthed him. See, they can't even keep up with their story. Truth reversed, so falsehood is manifest. Just reverse it back and you'll get truth. So who created this realm? The woman. She was the first one here. She created a body beautiful for herself. This realm wasn't that dense. It wasn't that slow. It was part of the astral realm, but it had like a more physical touch to it, a physical smell, a physical sight, a physical sound, a physical taste. This is the realm she created for herself. And this realm was called the garden. This is what they call it, the Garden of Eden. Eden in Latin is eat, the Garden of Eat. She created the fruits and the vegetation so that she can taste what the protons, electrons, and neutrons taste like. And this was her garden. And so when ones became more slow and more dense, they messed her garden up. The first physical woman that came, what is the name of the first physical mind? Because men in Latin is mind. What is the name of the first physical mind? He came into the physical. It says his name cannot be, no, it's not his name, it's her name cannot be used. Y'all know the name, right? That name is feminine. You're pronouncing it wrong though, because you're pronouncing it in English and not Latin. I'm not going to speak the name, because if somebody speaks the name with sinful tongue, they will not live to see another day. But yes, the woman was the one to create this realm.